What we do here matters, because what we don't do matters even more.
We need to continue to push, and we at ADAO are going to continue to push the Surgeon General of the United States.
As you know, the United States continues to use asbestos, and that indeed is a barrier to others stopping its use.
The most horrific part of this whole story is that it is preventable.
Good afternoon to all members of the non-blood ADAO's family, and thanks so much, Linda Hastings, for this opportunity to meet all of you again once more. We will update you about the situation in Brazil, my country, a major producer, user, and exporter of the killer fiber in the world. Here, we can see the data on the global asbestos production and the role performed by Brazil as the third biggest producer, as Linda Hastings presented this morning. This slide shows the old chrysotile asbestos mine in Bahia State in the northeast of my country, which was exploited by the French group Cagle from 1939 to 1967, and it is enormous environmental and social debt to the former workers. This is in Bahia, the old mine, the first mine exploited in Brazil. This, another one, was the old Antofillite mine, also in the northeast of the country. And I want here to publicly thank and pay tribute to Dr. Jean Millet, whom all these years has supported us, analyzing for free the samples of the minerals I have collected in my inspections in the whole country. Here we have the new chrysotile asbestos mine in the central part of the country, which is presented to the world as a showcase example on ISO certification accomplishment and a model of modern enterprise with strong speech on social and environmental responsibilities. The next slide portrays us a serious panorama on the global use of asbestos and its distribution around the world, showing the BRICS. The BRICS are the countries, Brazil, the emerging countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and South Africa, as the major users of the mortal product. We have already in the 8 most industrialized states of a total of 27 states in my country laws that ban asbestos, even though the producers are challenging all these laws at the Constitutional Supreme Court. 2 of them, one of these laws in my state of São Paulo and Rio Grande do Sul on the border with Argentina, are in the agenda for this year at the court. I hope we will be successful, and after this I will be in retirement at the labor inspection. Like an Italian old superstitious woman, I knock the wood, because after 30 years I deserve to go in retirement, at least at the inspection, the labor inspection. Recently, we had 2 big victories in the courts. One, a new approach which condemned for moral collective damages the transporters that had crashed on our state roads. This is important because it's moral, collective damages. And second, those companies who are not informing the government, health, and social security agencies who are the asbestos victims, how many they are, where they are, and the kind of pathology. These two condemnations are very recent and inaugurates a new period, a new age in our country. I'm so glad today to have not heard one mention of benign tumors or pleural plaque as a mark of exposure. This is a real improvement, don't you think, Dr. Frank? Did you remember how upset I was at the GAC in Tokyo in 2004? A lot of doctors used these benign tumors for pleural plaques. And today we had this wonderful surprise. No one mentioned this. All of them said no malignant diseases. This is a real improvement. On the Labor Ministry's website, we can find the list of companies which are still allowed and authorized to use asbestos in my country. I ask to our assistant, please, if it's possible to open this link. I'm not sure if you have internet here. Otherwise, I'd like to emphasize that the industry's requests for authorization to use asbestos are decreasing in my country. On the other hand, proportionally increasing are the requests for enterprises dedicated to identify, remove, and dispose asbestos waste in dangerous waste sites. Despite our efforts in the last 3 decades, we still have a huge production of asbestos cement in the country by one of the biggest asbestos company, as Dr. Castleman mentioned, named Eternit, which 2 of their titles were condemned last year to 16 years of jail in Italy for willful and deliberate environmental disaster by polluting and scattering the asbestos killer fibers, and deliberate and willful fail to implement precautions in the workplaces. Nowadays, the Brazilian Eternit announces proudly to be a genuine national company without any links to the multinational cartel and criminals. But Linda Heinz's research will show that it's not totally true. Another powerful industrial sector using small amounts of asbestos is the CHLOR-ALKALI industry, represented in my country by 2 giant corporations, the American Dow Chemical, and the other is the biggest petrochemical complex, the Brazilian Braskem, which was in part succeeded the recently nationalized state companies in the 90s, and is currently the biggest producer of resins in Americas. Here, a simple scheme to understand the role of the asbestos in the process of electrolysis acting as a permeable diaphragm. The brine, salt and water is introduced into the cathode compartment and flows into the anode compartment throughout the diaphragm, producing caustic soda, chlorine, and hydrogen. The diaphragm prevents the reaction of the caustic soda with the chlorine. The process is not environmentally friendly since it has a high energy consumption and, of course, has also the problematic final disposal of the used diaphragms that are not incorporated to the final product. Both companies, ADAO and Braskem, are blackmailing the congressmen and judges at the Supreme Court to oppose asbestos bans and allow the continued use of asbestos for the chlor-alkali industry, using the industrial process, using this motto that the industrial process is undertaken in a closed system on site. They used the same speech to get the exception in the European Union's ban. We can see the confirmation of these statements that they are so safe in these slides. Another sector out of any control is the sealing and insulation products. Despite in Brazil we don't produce textiles and these products for sealing and insulation anymore, we don't have the production of these products, they continue to be dumped in our market by Chinese producers. This has been my work in the last 3 years to interdict these products, even in my state where asbestos is already banned. These products have, in general, no label and no information that they contain asbestos, and arrive throughout our ports with general codes for import, or delivered directly to the final consumer with little or no information. We can see the use of these materials, the conditions, the workplaces are very small enterprises. Here, the different materials imported by sealing and insulation. All of this, day by day, we have to interdict these small companies to fight against them, to dispose in a safe place. This is the crucial question I want to point in my presentation today. We have dedicated in the last decades to try to regulate, inspect, and punish the asbestos producers. But it didn't work as we would like and as we would like, and has been slow, very slow. The question is the unregulated trade or commerce. As long as we have consumers demanding asbestos products, we will continue to produce. No more in Canada, maybe no more in the next years in Brazil. But this will go transferred to other countries like Paraguay, Indonesia, Zimbabwe, Kazakhstan, and whatever. Brazil is nowadays the second exporter of asbestos, and in our efforts to block its export to Asia, I interdicted 3,000 tons of asbestos that would be sent to Asia. But what happened? I was sued, treated, and exports continuing with impunity. We have to change this. How to influence the consumption? Educating consumers to not accept asbestos products. We need an international campaign in our alternative media, promoting boycotts, writing in our social medias more and more about the asbestos risks, creating panic. Of course, we will be accused to be terrorists, but why not? And defined us on the Facebook as rebels, but certainly we are rebels defending a big cause. Human being survival, aren't we? To finish, here deport all these loads of asbestos to Asia, I and my colleagues, we interdicted this. To finish, I would like to update you that the Brazilian future on use or not asbestos is on Supreme Court's hands, and they are divided in 6 to 5. In my opinion, 6 are with us. Hope nobody will be corrupted in the meantime, as we did face several times. I respect too much Chuck Levinstein, and a pity he's not here, but I don't agree with him that the ban asbestos doesn't it's not useful. Of course, is the law to ban asbestos is too useful for us. It's the beginning. Okay, really, to finish, I would like, for this proposal, I propose changing the focus and empower the Consumers Association and create links with them, eliminating auctions like this, in this kind of commerce, feeding the dispute between dealers. The dealers dispute the market, offering cents less than others. And really, to really finish, I would like that we think about Gandhi's wise lesson, to fight for commerce that respects the right to know. Next May, we are going to participate at the COP6, and I hope we succeed to get the inclusion of chrysotile asbestos in the list of the toxics for prior informed consent, the PIC, which requires the producers to inform in a clear way the risks associated with their products. Thanks so much for